Hi everybody, this is Joe with Joe's Premium Firewood, bringing you another fun-filled, exciting video. Today's video, I'm going to be giving you my 1 month evaluation on this Eastonmade Ultra hydraulic log splitter. I've had it since about January 27th, today's February 25th, and I just want to talk about the pros and the cons and everything about it so far that I have discovered from using it. That's what I was using. That's a Husky 35 ton hydraulic splitter. Let me get this set up here on the tripod and talk to you. So before I get going on that and give you my rating on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the best, I want to give a little disclosure. This splitter was loaned to me by Andrew Easton of Eastonmade Log Splitters. He approached me about 2 months ago and asked me if I would like to put it to real world use, running it and make videos of it. And I said I was up for that, no problem. I like making YouTube videos. So about a month later, on the 27th of January, it showed up. And I've probably made a dozen videos of it so far, and I'm going to get into the pros and cons here in a second. Just want to tell you a little bit about me. I have been selling firewood as my sole source of income since 2012. I started out with a Husky 22 ton splitter. That splitter went through 3 motors before I finally had it replaced with the 35 ton Husky, and I got that in around January of 2018 and have been using that ever since. My business has grown. I'm up to probably at least 150 to 200 cords a year, just all depending on new customers, old customers that find somebody else or stop burner, whatever. But that's my range of how much wood I produce, just to give you an idea. So I'm constantly splitting. I get to the point where I'm buying all the wood right now, all the logs and blocks, and I try to do all the splitting and the firewood deliveries and making bundles and doing all that. And then also, if you want to see more, this is their basic entry-level log splitter, but they have some monster hydraulic ones with hydraulic lifts, and they have a YouTube channel, just Eastonmade Log Splitters, I believe that's what it's called. And go ahead and check out their channel just to see more of their product line. Now, as far as this goes, I'm going to get into it. Let me start out by showing you. Here's one of the pros I like. I like how it comes with this detachable tongue, so you can haul from this side or this side. Just put it right in there. This thing, it weighs probably 800 pounds. I can push it if I'm on flat ground and I'm not standing on ice, so I can move it around, but it's nice to keep it hooked up to your four-wheeler or side-by-side. And where I split, I got wood all over my property, so I'm always splitting at a different spot, and it's easy to move it around, and sometimes it's nice to hook up from the back too. And then also, it comes with a 4-way wedge. This thing's at least 50 pounds. And it's not hydraulically adjustable, so you got to swap it out by hand. I made a video the other day. I'll put it on the end screen just to show you it can be possible. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the 4-way. I never got a sleeve for the 35 ton. I like to be able to control the size and shape of the pieces, and unless the pieces are like 9 to 12 inches in diameter, it doesn't work because you get too much kindling, and that goes with any 4-way, as far as I'm concerned. For my personal how I want to make the firewood, I want it to look like that. See that? See how perfect that is? So the 4-way doesn't work. I don't like it, or I would rather use this, and this, because this splitting ram is so fast, and that's another positive about this. The single wedge works just fine. And I figured, depending on the wood, I've increased my production from 50 to 100% faster using this compared to the Husky. So I've got other videos. I'm not going to start it up and show it to you to show that how it goes, but trust me, it's fast. Another thing I like about this is you can use it's symmetrical. You can use it on both sides. Made a video on that too. I think I'll put that on the end screens. So whether you're right-handed, left-handed, that means you can bring wood in on each side, and you don't have to move the splitter around to load it. When a lot of splitters are just, the control is off to one side. One minor con about it, the gas tank up is right here. It's kind of high up. Now, I'm a tall guy, and you got to pick up, 60 pounds, or not 60 pounds, about 30 pounds of gas and put it in here. And if you're about as tall as Mike Bloomberg, it might be difficult for you. But I mean, that's just, like I said, that's a minor thing. Now, one thing people have complained about or commented in a lot of my videos, they're saying this push plate is too small, which I guess if you're splitting pieces like this big around, I guess it is. But let me I'll show you. Look at the blocks that I got to split right now. Those are 10, 12 inches. Yeah, I do split bigger ones than that, but it works just fine. And that's probably another reason that there's not a hydraulic lift on here, is because you're not going to be split. It's to lift up the pieces, and I've got like instructions to my log suppliers that they bring me only manageable pieces I can pick up, nothing over like 75 pounds. That might seem a lot, but it depends on the species. But I know I did have an incident or an accident when I was just experimenting with it, and I put a piece that was this big around, and it was like a half knots. It was like a 90-degree knot on each side of it. It was just, there was like no good spot to hit it. And I'll definitely put a video on that on the end screens if you haven't seen it already. And me and Andrew, I talked to Andrew about it. We both agree it was a total fluke. It would probably take a million more pieces to split before this could possibly happen again. But what happened is the log flipped up, and while the ram was going back, it got caught under here and went under this control valve and snapped the fitting. And I took a hydraulic fluid shower. So, but I can laugh about it now, but it was scary at the time and upsetting. But I don't see how that can happen again. I mean, I guess it is possible, because it happened once, but maybe 1 in a million, something like that. Another thing I do like is that they use they have the Honda 340 I think it's GSX motor. From what I've heard from all the people commenting on previous videos, they're saying that motor is bulletproof. Always starts on the first pull. Had no issues with it. It runs great, and it even performs in cold weather, which that Briggs & Stratton motor doesn't want to start if it gets below 25 degrees. I have to fight it, and then it takes like 20 minutes for the hydraulic fluid to warm up so the ram will move. I used this the other day when it was like 15. It just worked great. And I also like the trailer tires that it comes with. The tires on the Husky are like this big around. I get scared going over 50 miles an hour. But I took it this weekend to outdoors with Eric's house, and it felt, I didn't even know it was back there, except when I hit a pothole. Now, I did mess up, and I didn't shut the fuel off when I drove down there, and I couldn't get it to start, but that was my fault. As long as you cut the fuel off, it doesn't get flooded, because somehow it was flooded, and but if you shut the fuel valve off, that's not an issue. And every person that I've showed this to, my brother, there was a guy that came and picked up yesterday. He's just like, "Oh, where'd you get that? Oh, that's awesome. That's such a nice looking machine." And I showed him how fast it was, and and Eric loved it, and the A team loves it. Everybody that I bring to that use it love it. So I would say, you know, to give my ranking on it on a scale of 1 to 10, with the cons, the pros and cons that I've just talked about, I would rate it a 9.5 out of 10 for its, you know, for its overall rating. And I, like I say, I'm coming through and just being honest with you. I'm a brutally honest person. I don't know how to lie, because it just makes it harder on you, because then you're trying to tell more lies or whatever. So it's just easier being honest. But what I would say that this machine is ideally for is for somebody like me, somebody with I'm considered a medium-sized firewood seller, where I would say between 100 and 499 cords sold in a year is somebody that's medium. If you're a small-time seller, 30, 40, 50 cords, and you have your own firewood business, this would be perfect for you. Now, if you're selling over 500 cords a year and you're dealing with logs this big, I would look into some of Eastonmade's bigger models to set up with. You're definitely not going to want to do it with a box store splitter. The box store splitters are probably engineered to do maybe 100 cords over their lifetime. So if you're a homeowner and you go out and cut your own firewood and you're burning like a cord a year, them box store splitters are fine. But if you're doing like 4 or 5 cords a year, I would recommend getting one of these. It speeds up the time, which now I don't have to pay somebody to split the wood. I can do it myself. I can do more deliveries, and then I can actually go cut. When I go cut myself, then I don't have to buy the logs. So it has freed up a lot of time for me. So I would look into that if I were you. Like I say, the speed of it, I could split a cord in about an hour and a half with this. Where that it would take anywhere from, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours, or maybe even more, like 2.5 to 4 hours probably to split a cord, if not longer. So it definitely speeds up, and like I say, the speed, and it's easy to work with. And my brother was saying you can just tell it's high quality just with all the little components that they put on there. So, well, right now I gotta go. We got a winter storm coming, and I gotta go cut some wood for my mom because she's starting to get low. I mean, obviously, if there's an emergency situation, I could tap into what I'm gonna sell. So make sure you check out some of these videos at the end, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next one.